Okay, so today we are going to do the geometrical interpretation of your directional derivative, and before that we must know the geometrical interpretation of partial derivative, because that will help you to better understand the concept of geometrical interpretation of directional derivative. So here let us consider a two variable function fxy, and say we are going to find its partial derivative at some point x0 y0. So geometrically it means let me write it on the here. Geometrically, partial derivative of f with respect to x represents at point x0 y0 represents the slope. We have done also this before, but now we will be taking the figures and see what it actually is. Represent the slope of tangent, to the curve fxy0 to the curve fxy0 at point x0 y0 z0 in the plane y equals to y0. So basically the partial derivative of f with respect to x at point x0 y0 gives you the slope of the tangent to the curve fxy0. Curve is fx comma y0 at point x0 y0 z0 in the plane y equals to y0, where curve is the curve that we are saying xy0 is obtained by the intersection of your surface z equals to fxy and plane y equals to y0. So this is the curve fxy0. From where it comes? It comes from the intersection of the plane y equals to y0 and surface z equals to fx0. So now let us see what the statement we are representing here means geometrically. So here, okay, let us see, this is your, say, z-axis, this is your x-axis, and say this is your y-axis. Now you have, say, this is x-axis and y-axis. Suppose this is your screen, whatever you are looking, this represents your xy plane, and this z-axis is the axis that is coming out of the plane, that is from screen. Now say this is your, first of all, we have been given some function fxy whose partial derivative we are going to find with respect to x. So we are looking for its symmetrical interpretation. So say here is a surface, so this is a surface, z equals to fxy, it is the surface. And now say, let me just take here point x0, and here it is your, say, y0. So this is x0, this is y0. Or let me just make it more closer to the origin. Say it is here. Okay, so the point x0, y0 on the xy plane will be lying like this one. So this point is your x0, y0. Now, when we take the partial derivative of f with respect to x at point x0, y0, we keep y equals to y0 constant. Okay, so y equals to y0 is a line. It is a line that is going like this, So this is the line y equals to y0. So let me complete it. So this is the line y equals to y0. So this is the line y equals to y0. Okay, just here let me change the coordinates, otherwise this will be representing the, this is your y naught, this is x naught. Yes, now it is fine. So now I have taken here the line y equals to y naught, above is the surface z equals to fxy lying on the 3D. Now what happens, say I am now taking the plane y equals to y naught. The plane y equals to y naught is something like this thing. Here it is like this one. So it is like this one. So this surface, when intersected by this plane, you will get some curve like this one. You will get curve like this one. Now this curve is basically on the surface z equals to fx naught, sorry fxy, but since y equals to y naught is fixed. Why? Because you have here the line y equals to y naught. You have the line y equals to y naught, and when you take the plane out of this line and intersect it with the surface z equals to fxy, you got this curve, this one. Now, this is the point x naught, y naught. In top of this point, you have here the point x naught, y naught, z naught. Where this z naught comes from the value you put in function fx by putting x equals to x naught, y equals to y naught. So now you can see in this point x naught, y naught, z naught, which is above the point x naught, y naught in the plane xy, and lying on the curve C, and the curve C or z equals to fx comma y naught curve is obtained by the intersection of plane y equals to y naught and surface z equals to fx naught. So if I draw the tangent at this point, if I draw a tangent at this point, this is the tangent at point x naught, y naught, z naught, then the slope of this tangent, at point x naught, y naught, z naught, that is what is your partial derivative of f with respect to x. So this tangent, the slope of this tangent at point x naught, y naught, z naught, and this point x naught, y naught, z naught, how it comes? It lies on the curve C, and curve C is obtained by the intersection of the surface z equals to fxy and plane y equals to y naught. So also we say that this partial derivative gives also we say a rate change of f in the direction of you can also write at x naught, y naught in the direction of I cap, about positive x-axis. Why it is so? Because you have the curve C on which the point x naught, y naught, z naught is taken. Here y equals to y naught is fixed. You have the curve obtained by the intersection of the plane y equals to y naught with the surface, and y equals to y naught is your constant, it is fixed. So only the thing that is changing is your x-axis or x coordinate. So that is why this gives you the rate change of f at point x naught, y naught in the direction of I cap. Now we extend this to the directional derivative. We extend this concept to the directional derivative. So let us see now what is the geometrical interpretation of directional derivative. Now the things will be same here, only the difference will be that here instead of your plane y equals to y naught, you will have a plane that is parallel to the unit vector. So geometrical interpretation of directional derivative, it gives or let me write properly, the directional derivative of function fxy at point x naught, y naught, in the direction of unit vector u gives the rate change, gives the now geometrical interpretation, gives the slope of tangent to the curve, C at point x0, y0, z0, where z0 is obtained by giving value x0, y0 in the function whichever is given. Now the thing is that here curve C is obtained. How it is obtained? Likewise in the partial derivative, we have seen how the curve was obtained. Now here the curve C is obtained by the intersection of plane parallel to unit vector u and passing through point x0, y0 and x0, y0, z0. So this is the only difference. You know that in the previous case the plane was y equals to y0, but here the plane will be parallel to unit vector passing through point x0, y0 and x0, y0, z0. And secondly, surface z equals to fxy. That is obtained by the intersection of surface with the plane that is running parallel to the unit vector. So let us see what it is actually represent in geometrical sense. Say this is your z-axis, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Sorry, this is your x-axis, this is your x-axis, and then this is your y-axis. Let me extend it to more here. It is x-axis, y and z. xy represent the plane or the screen you are looking at, and the z-axis, that is the axis coming out of the screen or coming out of the xy plane. Now say this is the surface, say this is the surface, z equals to fxy. This is the surface z equals to fxy. Now for this surface z equals to fxy, let us say we have here point y0 and here we have point x0. So that this is the point x0, y0. This is the point x0, y0. Now corresponding to this point, earlier in the partial derivatives, what we were looking for, what we were doing, we were taking a line y equals to y0 like this one. We have considered a line y equals to y0, okay? But now, since we have the unit vector, and say this unit vector is pointed like this one. This unit vector is pointed like this one. This is u1, u2, j. That is, it represents the change in both x and y axis. From point x0, y0, let us say your vector u is like this one, okay? So now I am here removing this y equals to y0 line. So here this is the unit vector, and say I extend this vector like this one, right? This, okay. So now let me draw the plane from this unit vector. So this is the plane parallel to your unit vector and passing through point x0, y0, and corresponding to x0, y0, when you have your this plane, this is a plane parallel to unit vector u, okay? And when it intersects the surface, say it intersects the surface on this curve. This is the curve C. obtained by the intersection of your plane that is parallel to unit vector and also passing through point x naught y naught, and corresponding to this point x naught y naught, here you have your x naught y naught z naught point. So this is the only difference. In case of partial derivative, you take a point through line y equals to y naught, and that intersects the surface. Here you have a plane that is parallel to unit vector and that intersects the surface. So at this point x naught y naught z naught, if you draw a tangent like this one, then this is the tangent. Then the slope of this tangent is actually giving you the directional derivative of f at point x naught y naught. So this is the basic geometrical interpretation of your directional derivative, that they give you the slope of the tangent to the curve, and that curve is obtained by the intersection of the surface with the plane that is parallel to unit vector and going through point x naught y naught and x naught y naught z naught. Now finally, here you have your physical interpretation of your directional derivative. So physically, what does it represent? आसमा जी ज़्यादा लाइट है, चलिए कोई बात नहीं, अगर लाइट है तो चेंज कर देते हैं, इसे भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, ठीक है। क्या हुआ सर? नहीं फिर रहने देते हैं, फिर जरूरी नहीं है, इसको छोड़िए। ये तो क्लियर था, विजिबल है ना, बस ठीक है। ओके, सो नाउ लेट अस सी द फिजिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन of directional derivative. So we now have done the geometrical interpretation. Now we are coming to the physical interpretation of directional derivative. So it says, suppose t equals to fxy represents temperature at each point xy over a region in a plane, then this function at x naught y naught, this represents temperature at any point x naught y naught. Okay, so what we did, we take a function fxy, we take that it represents the temperature distribution of some region in a plane, represents the temperature or temperature distribution at every point of some region in a plane. So fx naught y naught will automatically represent the temperature at that point x naught y naught. So directional derivative of f at point p naught in the direction, if I am looking for the directional derivative of f at p naught in the direction of unit vector u, so the directional derivative f at point p naught in the direction of u gives instantaneous rate of change. If I find the directional derivative of f, that is representing a temperature distribution, and at point p naught in the direction of unit vector, then it will give me the instantaneous rate of change of temperature at point p naught when the step off in direction of u. That is, from point p naught, if I step off in the direction of unit vector u, then what is the rate change going to be? So that is what is given by is the physical interpretation of directional derivative. So with this, your physical and geometrical interpretation of partial derivative is complete. I am closing this lecture or this topic with the example, last example. If the temperature distribution of some region in a plane is given by Pxy is equals to x square e raised to power minus 2y, then find in which direction at point P0 temperature increases rapidly, and secondly it decreases rapidly. So here solution, we have to been given some temperature distribution in some part of the region. So you have to find the direction at point this one from where temperature will increase most rapidly. So since we know that the temperature or the directional derivative is maximum, or f increases most rapidly in the direction of gradient f. So here gradient f is your this one, partial derivative x, y, z, and in this case it comes out to be 2x e raised to power minus 2y I cap plus your minus 2 x square e raised to power minus 2y j cap. This is your gradient of function f x y. And now if I look at the gradient at point 1, 0, this becomes 2I minus 2j. Yes, so this is the value of gradient vector at the given point. So now as we know that the function, since function increases, or so I should write here, so f increases or temperature increases most rapidly at point 1, 0 in the direction of gradient f at point P0, that is 2I minus 2j, that is in the direction of unit vector u1 is equal to gradient f at P0 upon magnitude of gradient f, and that gives you 1 upon 2 under root 2 2I minus 2j, and that comes out to be your 1 upon under root 2 I minus j. So this is the direction of the unit vector of your gradient vector in which the temperature will be increasing most rapidly. So next is your in which direction it decreases. So before that, if say he has been asking you, if he has asked you that what is going to be the directional derivative in this direction. So directional derivative in this direction is simply the magnitude of gradient at point P0, and that we have found already, that is 2 under root 2. So that is done. This is how we can proceed in this question. Similarly, the temperature decreases most rapidly at point P naught in the direction of minus of gradient f at point P naught, and that is minus 2i minus 2j. That is in the direction of unit vector, u2 is equal to minus of gradient f at P naught upon its magnitude. So that gives you minus 1 upon under root 2 I minus j. So this is the direction in which f or temperature will decrease rapidly at point P naught. And also if we have to find the dd, and that is going to be minus 2 under root 2 that we have found already. So this completes the question, that in which direction temperature increases and decreases rapidly. Say in addition, if he is asking the direction in which there is no change in directional derivative. In addition, if say he is asking you that what is the direction in which there is no change. So we must be looking for the direction, since we have u1 is equal to gradient f upon this one is equal to 1 upon under root 2 I minus j. So this is the unit vector of your gradient. So we must be looking for the direction such that it is perpendicular orthogonal to this vector. So let u3 is equal to 1 upon under root 2 I plus j, so that u1 dot u3 is equal to I minus j dot 1 by under root 2 I plus j, and this gives you 0. So any direction that is orthogonal to this direction, any direction that is orthogonal to the direction of the unit vector of gradient f will give you the dd direction derivative equals to 0. And here we have found one of the direction, that is this one. So with this, the topic of direction derivative is over now. Okay, till then, thank you. Thanks a lot.